Have you ever wondered what life was truly like in Victorian London? Perhaps you imagined the grand palaces, elegant carriages, and the height of the British Empire. But beneath this veneer of sophistication lurked a deadly secret that nearly brought the empire's capital to its knees. The summer of 1858 in London was unusually hot. As temperatures rose, so did something else, an unbearable stench from the River Thames. This wasn't just any unpleasant odor. This was what historians now call the Great Stink. For decades, London had been dumping its sewage directly into the Thames. Chamber pots, cesspools, slaughterhouse waste, all emptied into the same river that provided drinking water for the city's 3 million inhabitants. When the scorching summer heat baked this toxic soup, the resulting miasma was so powerful that it penetrated the hallowed halls of Parliament itself. Members of Parliament hung lime-soaked curtains over the windows in a desperate attempt to block the smell. Government business ground to a halt. Some MPs fell ill. Others fled. There was serious talk of relocating the entire government away from Westminster. What many don't realize is that the Great Stink wasn't merely an issue of discomfort. It was a matter of life and death. Just a few years earlier, in 1854, physician John Snow had made a revolutionary discovery during a cholera outbreak in Soho. Going against prevailing theories that blamed disease on bad air, Snow meticulously mapped cholera cases and traced the outbreak to a single water pump on Broad Street, proving that the disease spread through contaminated water, not air. Yet despite Snow's groundbreaking work, many medical authorities rejected his findings. They clung to the miasma theory, the belief that diseases spread through foul vapors. Ironically, while their theory was wrong, their disgust at the river's stench would ultimately save countless lives. The situation reached such crisis proportions that Parliament finally took action. On June 18, 1858, they pushed through a bill in just 18 days, lightning speed by Victorian standards, authorizing a comprehensive sewage system for London. The man tasked with this monumental challenge was engineer Joseph Bazalgette. What followed was one of the most ambitious engineering projects of the 19th century. Bazalgette designed 1,100 miles of street sewers and 82 miles of main interceptor sewers. These massive tunnels, some large enough for a train to pass through, diverted London's waste downstream, away from the populous areas. But here's what few people know. Bazalgette's foresight saved London twice. When calculating the capacity needed for his sewers, he took the maximum predicted load and doubled it. This over-engineering proved providential when London's population exploded beyond all expectations in subsequent decades. The project employed over 20,000 workers and required 318 million bricks. Several workers lost their lives during construction, their sacrifices largely forgotten by history. The total cost reached £6.5 million, equivalent to over £700 million today. Perhaps most remarkable is that much of Bazalgette's system remains in use today, still functioning after more than 150 years. His embankments reshaped the Thames, creating the London riverscape we recognize now. The Victoria, Albert, and Chelsea embankments all exist because of the sewers beneath them. Though few realized it at the time, the Great Stink and the sewage system it prompted marked a turning point in public health. Cholera epidemics, which had claimed tens of thousands of lives, virtually disappeared from London. The death rate dropped dramatically, and life expectancy increased. One might say that the modern world began not with some glorious battle or scientific breakthrough, but with the simple, unglamorous act of dealing properly with human waste. The Great Stink forced Victorian society to confront the consequences of urban growth and industrialization, a lesson still relevant today. As you walk through modern London, beneath your feet lies an invisible monument to human ingenuity, a cathedral of sewers that saved a city and changed public health forever. All because, for one sweltering summer, Parliament couldn't escape the stench of its own making. The next time you turn on a tap or flush a toilet without a second thought, remember the great stink, and how sometimes, the most significant revolutions are the ones we can no longer see.